I'm getting more and more emails from companies wanting to send me stuff to review and whatnot, and most of it I really don't care for, don't want to do, and sometimes things just don't work as good as I would like, or things just don't interest me at all. But I just got sent something that I've had my eye on and have been really curious about how good it is, and I just never committed to buying it, and they've reached out and actually sent me one of their things that I was looking at wanting to buy and just haven't yet. So here it is. I'm not even going to really attempt to say their name, but if you've been on Amazon searching for this, I'm sure it's popped up. It always pops up as one of the top things there. So here it is. The KC601 and KC602 amp clamps. They sent me both of these. On specs, they are the same. The difference is the shape of the jaw. And I can see a benefit to this one sometimes and a benefit to that one sometimes. So it's really a toss-up, I think, which one I would have bought. But they sent me both of them, so now I get to try both of them and see which one I actually like better. And we are going to see if these things actually work pretty good or not. And I've got a perfect car in the shop to test these on. It come in for a supposedly parasitic drain, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a parasitic drain. So let's get into it and try these things out. So if you're curious about unboxing these things, I've not opened them yet or anything, so let's cut these open real fast and see what's in here. I'm only going to unbox one of them because I'm sure they'll be the same. It's got a nice little case. I like that. If I can get into this thing. Let me sit you guys down here. So let's see here. Comes with batteries, that's good. Cheap batteries, but they'll work for today, hopefully, as long as they're not dead. This is a temp probe. Something I don't actually have. I don't own a temp probe, so now I do. So maybe one day we'll find a use for this and try this thing out. We also got some leads. They feel pretty good. Let's see, he's got the removable caps. Yep. I would have liked this to be like a banana end in this. I don't know if I've got a lead with me right now or not that has it, but there's some of these that'll have a little point tip, and then under the cover is a banana lead, so you can click it on to a banana, kind of like how this is. You'd be able to stack, like say, one of my light bulbs on here or something like that. But you know, I've got my own leads that I like, so these are really just going to be for probably testing batteries or something like that, reading voltages on batteries or fuses, something like that. But they feel fine. So let's see about this thing. Of course, I have to put the batteries in it, but yeah, doesn't feel too bad. Got the batteries in it and it is on, this is all LED display. There's really only 3 buttons here, a power button here, and I'm not sure what this one is. Is it a flashlight? Not real sure. It does have some kind of light right here. What is this? H. I don't know what H means. I'm probably going to have to look at the book and figure some of this stuff out, because some of it I don't know what it is. Like this NCV Live. I've never heard of that before, but it does show hertz and percentage, so maybe this will actually be good for doing duty cycles or something like that. H and V. I wonder, do we hold this? Hey, we hold it and it turns the flashlight on. Okay. That's handy. That'll come in handy trying to, you know, dig down into a harness or something to try to see a little bit in some dark spots. I do like that. That's cool. So far, this is cool. I like it. Right now it shows on auto range. I'm not sure if it's what it would do if we hooked it up to something, because it shows this going between these 4 icons. So I'm not sure if it actually would display all of that or not. We'll see. It's also showing a temperature right here for some reason, but I don't have anything hooked to it, so I'm not sure if there's an internal temp sensor of this thing or what. But you can select your functions that you want to do. So we got volts DC. Let's see. Does it select? How do you select it? Okay, I guess select makes sense. And yeah. So we can go through all these. Amp clamp. Let's do. How do you do 0? Do you hold this? Okay. Yeah. Pretty intuitive, not too bad. So let's get this hooked up on the car and see what's wrong with the car and see how this works. So one other difference about this, besides the clamp, how the clamp is, I think they call this one a D clamp, and I'm not sure what they call that one. But the other difference is the buttons are here versus at the bottom. And I actually kind of prefer that. I kind of prefer them being here versus down here at the bottom. I do like that a lot better than this. Not really that big of a deal, but either way. So let's see what our voltage is on this battery. If I can do this one-handed somehow, maybe not. 12.3. So battery is not discharged, even though the customer complaint with this thing is sometimes the battery is dead. It's a 2016 Jeep, 2017 Jeep Compass, and I've already done a parasitic drain test on this with my Pico scope. Had it setting all night. It ran for 17 hours. Showed no current draw at all. Voltage stayed relatively steady through the entire test. No random like spikes of like something turning on and then going back off like you would see like with a tracker or anything like that. But when they brought it and dropped it off, when we went outside to crank it to move it in the shop, it had a dead battery. So I charged the battery, done my parasitic drain test, no issues. And then yesterday I drove this thing, brought it back to the shop. Like I drove around the block, brought it back, and turned the key off, tried to crank it back, and the battery was dead. So I'm suspecting we've got some kind of charging issue. And crazy thing is we get 14 volts when we crank this thing and let it run. So let me get it started and I'll show you that. I swapped out to my leads so I could put alligator clips on these on the battery, because I started it and it turned over and then it just clicked. And our voltage has dropped a little bit, so I want you guys to watch as I try to start this thing and see what the voltage does. Yep, she spun a little bit and dead. Very interesting. Now we're down to 11.4, 11.3. Is it a bad battery? Well, when I charged this thing completely, it tested as a good battery. So let me get the charger on this thing. I'm going to charge it back up for a little bit, get this thing running, and we'll do some other testing with it. Had the Topdon Tornado 90,000 on it for a little bit to top the battery back off, and as you can see right now, battery's only taking, the Topdon says 1.1 amps. Let's see what the current clamps say. This one says 1.4, so pretty close. And this one says 1.4. So the two agree. It's a little off from what the Topdon does, or what it says. I've never actually verified that's what it puts out, but I mean, 0.3 of a volt different from what it says. That's not terrible. And who knows? The Topdon might be off. I have no idea. I really don't. But got this battery topped off, so let's get it started and do some other checking with it. The Snap-on battery tester is actually telling us to replace the battery. It says it's low cranking amps. Maybe I didn't completely top it off. Not real sure, but I did test this the other day and it said it was fine. It tested up to capacity, so I might not have it completely topped off yet, but no big deal. Alright, so it turns out that battery was bad, so we got it warranted, and that is like the third battery this thing's had in it. So now you can see we got 12.6, and this thing will start up and run. It doesn't run good, and for some reason the check engine light has come on, but I need to figure out why this thing keeps killing the battery. Well, let's see. Check engine light has went off now, and now it's running fine. This car is weird, but I think we got a charging issue. We do see that we've got 14.4 volts now. Is the battery taking any current? 6 amps. 7 amps. Okay. How much current is the alternator putting out? Come on. Get these cables up where I can get on them. Alternator is putting out 34, 35 amps. Car is using about 28. So it's 5 amps, that's about right, okay. But what is this? Why does this ground strap have 26 amps on it? You would think the battery cable would, but that battery cable shows 2 amps, 5 amps there. So what do we got going on with these battery cables? Why is this carrying so much current? I suspect this cable looks like it goes down to the transmission or something. I suspect that is not right. I think that should be attached to the body somewhere. So let's get a diagram pulled up that shows where this ground cable should be. So I got all data pulled up here on my phone, and it shows this ground cable should actually be attaching somewhere, I believe, like right over here. Definitely not down there. So right now we can see there's only 5 amps roughly going into the battery. So let's change this over to here and recheck this, and then also recheck this to make sure this goes away, because this cable shouldn't have that kind of current going on it at all, and it's kind of warm to the touch. Got this undone and moved around here, because this is the stud I believe the picture shows. It's kind of hard to tell in that picture, but I believe that's where it goes. Either way, it's now connected to body. So let's crank it up, and then we'll recheck current here and there and see if this thing is going to start charging correctly, because I think the battery is basically getting drained from starting and then not properly charging back. So let's see what we got here now. So we still got 8 amps of current. 8 amps ain't terrible. What do we have going into this? Let's see. We're on auto mode. Let's see if it picks up DC current. Nope. AC. AC. Okay. Let's switch this over to DC. So alternator's doing 32 amps. And now our battery here is only doing 4, but what are we doing here now? 18. So I think this should be fine now. I don't really understand why that battery went bad. I think that's like the 3rd battery they've put in this thing, and that's the only thing I can find wrong with it. So we'll see what happens with it. And yeah, as far as these things go, I actually really like it. And this NVC or NCV, I read what that is, and it is actually for checking voltage on circuits without ever touching it. It's like non-contact voltage. So what it was saying is you take the leads out of it and you put this close to power. Oh, come on now, you're not gonna work for me. Oh, there we go. So you can see it's picking up power running through the cord there. So not really useful for us here in the automotive world, but so far I really like this thing. This thing's pretty good. I don't remember right off the top of my head how much these things are on Amazon, but I'll put a link to them down in the description here, and we'll probably see these some more in the future because I kind of like it. It's pretty handy. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys later.